Here's some cool little things about Elf.
Okay.
First of all, Will Ferrell almost didn't do the movie.
Really?
He said, this is either going to make me or break me. And he took a risk. And obviously it played well for him because it's a classic.
Yeah.
Another thing, the character who is the store manager.
Oh, yeah.
You know that one? He's like, 6-inch ribbon curls.
It's impossible. 6 inches.
Okay, if you look at his name tag real close, it says Wanda.
Okay.
That's because, oh my gosh, I forgot her last name.
Wanda Sykes.
Wanda Sykes originally was that character, and she backed out at the last minute.
Oh, wow.
And to kind of just honor her, he still wore the name tag they had made for her.
That's
because she was the original character. So if you ever watch Elf, just notice that it says Wanda.
I never noticed that. Interesting.
Yeah, little Elf fun fact.
What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the podcast with your friends, Rhett and Justin, here at Armchair Authentic, a podcast that's designed to have real conversations about real life, stewarding stories of 39 years of friendship in a way that serves you. Today, you're in for a ride because this conversation is all about Colonel Cookie, Christmas elves, and the three Amigos. I know, hold on, there's more and it's coming. Before we jump into that though, always want to take a moment and say thank you to every single one of you who have taken the time to follow us on social media. You can find us at Facebook or Instagram at Armchair Authentic. That's at Armchair Authentic. For those who are new, we'd love for you to follow us. You can also find us on Twitter, or what was formerly known as Twitter, now is X, at Armchair Off Pod. That's at Armchair Off, AUTHPOD. All right, before we go any further, I always want to encourage you, if you are enjoying this podcast, could you do us a huge favor? Could you copy the link on your podcast platform and share it with a friend? Man, that would mean so much to us. Thank you. All right, guys, now into our conversation that started about nothing, but actually led to something. It's a conversation about Colonel Cookie, Christmas elves, and the three Amigos. You guys ready? Here we go. What's up, Justin? It's good to be back in the studio doing something a little bit different today. I'm at my house and you're at your house. And,
I know.
For those who are listening, they have no idea. We literally spent 30 minutes on troubleshooting, trying to get your microphone and stuff to work on your end. And
frustrating.
To no avail. It's working, but it's not working how we wanted it to.
It's not working how we wanted it to. But yeah, we just finished up Thanksgiving break. We're still kind of at our house, the kiddos. You got family and all that stuff going on. And we knew we wanted to get us an episode in. And I came downstairs into really what is my studio, but it's fastly become my oldest child.
Of course, because that's what kids do. Yes.
Kingdom. And I plugged in the stuff that I let him use, and it was supposed to be a simple plug-in, and we would have that magical microphone sound that we usually pride ourselves in an Armchair Authentic.
Yeah, the radio.
Today I'm just going to be authentic and tell you I could not get that mic working on my Mac, which is odd.
Yeah,
it's supposed to be a simple plug and play.
And it's not because you're not technical. It's literally just something weird's happening on your end, and no worries.
Strange.
Well, if it sounds like I'm on the radio with my microphone and sounds like you're on a phone, well, it's okay. I think our listeners are going to be okay with that. Yeah.
Me and you being on the phone. Yeah. So we've always said this podcast is like one of our phone calls. So
and here we are.
You're hearing my voice in the true sense of a phone call.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's officially fall in Alabama, I would say. It's been like 70 degrees forever, and now it's like 50 something, and walked outside this morning. I don't know, maybe it was 30 something degrees earlier this morning. I was like, hello. And you can hear it in my voice, from hot to cold. And I was in Idaho a few weeks ago, and man, it was snowing in Idaho. And I was like, let's go. It's winter here, and it's felt like spring in Alabama. But now, by the time of this recording, it is finally fall in Alabama. Everybody's kicking out their hoodies and their beanies or their toboggans. I mean, you know, growing up, you and I used to call the things you would put on your head called toboggans.
Yeah.
And then I moved to the Northwest and they're like, toboggans are what you use to sled down a hill, not to put on your head.
So you stick that on your head, huh?
Oh yeah, you
Southerners.
That's weird. You chunk
toboggan.
You chunk things across the room instead of chuck, and you put toboggans on your head instead of beanies.
I know. I remember reading
so
in school, like elementary school, we'd read some of these little, books, and it would show a picture of these kids sledding, and it was like, here goes the kids tobogganing down the hill. And I'm like, what? Riding on their toboggan.
Yeah, you're like, what? I thought that goes on your head. What is this? Yeah.
Don't they get slushy?
It's so funny. It's so funny. Oh, but man, we're officially in December now. I mean, come on. Happy holidays to you.
Happy holidays. I really can't stay.
Baby, it's cold outside. Oh,
what a crazy song.
Oh, dude, at one point it kind of reminds me, I went to an 80s karaoke party one time. It was somebody's birthday and it was 80s karaoke and it sounded like fun. And it was until we started actually reading the lyrics across the bottom of the screen. I was like, oh my gosh, this song says that? And that's how
never knew.
I never knew. And we all kind of looked at each other, we're like, this is kind of weird. Why are we singing this? Yeah, that's kind of how I feel with that. We
never knew what we were singing.
No, that's how I feel with Baby It's Cold Outside. It's like this is not a good thing, I don't think.
I only knew about that song from first when Elf came out. Like in 2003.
Okay.
I never knew that song before then. And then it's like when they're having that like scene and he's singing it with her. But then after that, I feel like I heard it on the radio. And we have a local station in Birmingham, really across even further than Birmingham, but it's called Magic 96. And every Christmas, starting really in November, they begin playing Christmas music the whole time through. And so even in July, they'll pop in like on the weekends for Christmas in July. And so I just remember after the movie, I noticed every Magic 96 holiday season, it would pop in. So that song now, it's like there's 5, 6, 7 different versions, and we all know it. But when you really think about the lyrics, it's like there's some interesting conversation going on.
Yeah, some interesting conversation that
a little persuasion happening.
Persuasion, manipulation.
It's like she said no.
No. I mean, brother, take a hint. It's time for you to go. Leave.
But it does end with, but it's cold outside.
Yeah, but it's cold outside. I understand.
But it's the Christmas season, and it's time now for the lightings. I don't know how the listening audience is with Christmas. I know we probably have our two different sides of fanatics and those who just take it as it goes. I would say that we're fanatical in the sense of we don't go crazy Clark Griswold on our house, but we'll look at doing like some parades. Right now you have your different shopping centers that begin to do their lightings.
Yeah.
So we'll go to those and just kind of walk the shopping center like we have called the Summit or the Galleria, and you can actually watch the Christmas lighting. It'll just turn on and then it's just festive. So we try to go around. A couple of weeks ago, there was, early in Christmas. Here we are after Thanksgiving, but this was before Thanksgiving. And it's called Deck the Heights. And there is a city where we're from in Birmingham called Cahaba Heights. And it's cool because they have like 5 or 6 trolleys that they rent for the day.
Really?
And if you were to imagine this little town, there's probably not villages, but 4 or 5 different stops where it's a nice little shopping space. Not big, but just quaint. It's a small town vibe. But these trolleys will take you and drop you off at these different areas. And you can just get out, and the storefronts will have maybe some brownies or cookies. They'll have eggnog, just some fun stuff, bouncy houses. And you'll just kind of make your way around this village, and you'll spend 3 or 4 hours. And it's fun because you can get in your normal just tram where it's just like you just sit in it, buckle up and drive. or there's a couple of them, and there's usually this primary one. It's really like, if you think Mr. Rogers trolley, like the old red or a white trolley that's decked out, you get in it. And man, we would always wait for that one. And we finally got on that. And I'm telling you, it was these two girls, but it reminded me of me and you as a kid, the way they were entertaining.
Okay.
Because they were, I guess they were hired to be on that trolley dressed as like Christmas elves. And you talk about hamming it up. We were sitting on that tram.
Let's go.
And they're getting everybody into it.
Everybody's singing, Deck the halls with boughs of holly.
I mean,
that would annoy the fire out of me, but
attitude. I mean, they were like in your face, pointing like I saw Mama kissing Santa Claus, or like a Mariah Carey song. All I want for Christmas is you.
And
it's like they're going around. Oh, well, they're just singing with the tracks.
Okay.
It was so festive and fun, but my second oldest,
he's like, Dad,
after one of the elves came and sat literally next to him. I mean, that's just not his style. If he didn't want you to just come, up on him like that. And so we got off and explored one of the shopping districts. And then here comes the trolley again. And we're like, yes, the trolley. And he's like, I'm not getting on that trolley.
He's like, nope. This is a trigger for trauma now. I'm going to be sitting in counseling several years from now.
Hey, Brett, here's all I could think of. It was his version of what Colonel Cookie was to me.
Oh, wow. Did we talk about the Colonel Cookie moment with you? Is that something we talked about?
I don't know if we did it in passing, but I still am traumatized by Colonel Cookie.
So do we want to dive there? Go there for a minute. Colonel Cookie, church. The church week.
Well, first of all, let's give a shout out. Let's give a shout out to a name here.
Okay,
who is our children's pastor early on in Birmingham, Alabama? A guy named Jim Weidman.
Yes, who is
kind of known now as like the kid men father of like ministry in America. People he has come after to learn how he's done children's ministry. He actually lives in Nashville now, and man, we need to reach out to him at some point.
Yes,
but Jim Weidman really built an amazing kids ministry at where we went as kids. But there would be this guy from time to time who would pop in. So we did the whole puppets. That was huge in the 80s. I mean, and if that was actually popular, and it was, our church had second to none. It was all out.
Well, puppets and mascots were a big deal in the 80s. In
huge.
Kids ministry.
Well, there was one guy named Colonel Cookie. I mean, he looked like an oatmeal cream pie with legs and an arm.
That's such a good expression.
And a head.
Yeah.
I mean, he'd walk up in there, and it's fun when Colonel Cookie walked in. We're all waving, but man, there's this. It was like they had a music.
They had hype music
break.
Going. Yeah,
hype music. It danced. I mean, it was just playing loud. Here's me and Rhett and my brother. We're sitting on kind of like the back, second or third row from the back, because we didn't want to get too close.
And you're on the outside edge next to the aisle.
I'm on the outside edge, and here comes Colonel Cookie, and that brother grabbed me.
Name of this episode: Here Comes Colonel Cookie.
That brother grabbed me by the arms, and I mean, just jerking my hands back and forth, like ripping it out of socket, dancing with me. And he's trying to get me with it, and I'm trying to act like I'm having fun, Rhett. And I was so humiliated. I don't know why that humiliated.
A couple hundred kids in there at that moment freaking out because this is like Barney in the room, or this is like SpongeBob SquarePants to these Christian kids. Yeah.
And we enjoy attention, all that stuff, but I don't like undue attention put on me that I'm not ready for.
That's completely forced.
I'll ham it up with you any day if we're doing a skit.
Yeah.
With Three Amigos, the movie me and you used to do, My Little Buttercup.
It's one thing to be.
That was so fun.
Yeah, that's
but controlled. You don't force me onto that.
That's controlled.
Man, He's like, baby, it's cold outside, and I'm like, it's time to go. He's like, but baby, it's cold out. But baby, I want to dance, and Colonel wants to dance. I mean, I'm just standing there still, like in the aisle, and I look at you and my brother, and y'all are dying laughing at me.
Oh yeah.
and I'm
hilarious.
embarrassed.
Yeah, yeah.
And I just scoot back into my seat, and it's like, I'm done the rest of the service. Honestly, don't really want to go back. Now, that wasn't Jim's fault.
Yeah,
That
I'm
was
about to
Colonel
say,
Cookie's fault. He took it a little further.
let's be very clear, Jim. We
Jim,
love you, man. This is
brother Jim.
There's no direct
I can't even
reflection
say
on
Jim,
you.
right? And I feel weird saying Jim. To me, he's brother Jim.
Brother Jim.
But brother Jim, it wasn't on you. But Colonel Cookie, he really embraced that role.
I would love to get his perspective on the back end as an adult of what Jim was thinking in those moments. Is like, oh my gosh, what did we do? Maybe there was a side conversation afterwards going, look, man, don't be grabbing the kids and dancing with them in front of everybody. This is not a good thing.
But you make a good point, because think about it. It was the 80s.
I
mean, there's so many things that you see the jokes about playing on playgrounds.
Yeah.
And it's like you fall off the monkey bars.
Oh, yeah.
And you're knocked out cold, but someone comes up and say, oh, he'll be all right.
Yeah, all right.
And you kind of come to and you get up and you go run and play. Yeah. When you probably had some serious brain damage, and we just never really realized
those damage we went through. Those toxic paint chips that we used to eat on the playground. We would flake those things off, and we had no idea that was lead paint. Oh man,
had no idea.
Wow.
No. It's
these playgrounds our kids have now blows me away. Yeah.
Well, and I think we just didn't think anything of it. No. So whether you're traumatized by Colonel Cookie, you fall off the monkey bars at a playground, whatever it might be, it's just it's a different day and age. But these days, to have the Christmas elves in Cava Heights just jump right up on you, it's like, it's kind of like you were. It's like you were explaining,
like not jump on you, jump beside you, right? Okay,
right. Yeah. Let me be clear. Sorry.
All right.
Sorry. They sit by. They'd scooch by you there.
Okay.
And or point at you with every word of the song, and you're just kind of looking away.
Have like, fun, man. Yeah.
Yeah. If you can sing Rudolph, that's fine.
What?
You know what I mean?
What was that? Did you just hear that? Is that your phone dinging? Did your timer on your cookies go off?
Yeah.
That making was some Christmas cookies over at the house right now.
Okay. You hear me? Well, let me go ahead and note here.
Yeah.
Let me put my computer on mute, and it doesn't mute us. So that's good to know.
Okay, that's good.
Because that was my text coming in, and I'm glad that I'd muted it, because now a slew of them are kicking in.
Oh, wonderful.
On my computer.
Well, this is either going to be, some people are like, I'm not sure, either they're tuning in or tuning out. I don't know. We're just having some fun here. It's the first week of December. We're talking a happy holidays.
We're ready, man.
We're talking Christmas. You were talking about the movie Elf. Are there any Christmas movies that you have to watch during the holidays? Is this you can't have a Christmas unless you watch ABC of whatever movie?
We put up the tree.
Yeah.
I think it said this. We did it early, probably 4 weeks ago.
Yeah, not us.
And we watched Elf. As we were doing it. And then I got to tell you, one of my favorites are Christmas Chronicles on Netflix.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
Kurt Russell.
The first one was great. Yeah, the second one was, it's okay. The one where they're at the beach.
Yeah. I don't give the whole beach and Christmas. That's tough.
I think I would enjoy that. I think I would enjoy it one time.
Did you enjoy a little Hawaii?
Oh man, okay. I would totally.
One time.
Yeah, one time. I could do it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. So those are good. Those are definitely movies. I'm kind of a, the nostalgic side. I like some of the Once Upon a Christmas, the Mickey Mouse ones.
Okay, that is I had no clue what that is. Awesome.
Oh yeah, it's like a set. It's probably like 4 or 5 cartoons where they're like a series from back to back to back to back. Hits different characters from Donald to Mickey to Goofy to Minnie and Daisy having like this ice skate off.
Okay.
And it's classic.
There you go.
And so it's a good one to watch. Get some hot chocolate.
Gotcha.
Just have everybody.
Oh man,
mine's
so Tim Allen, Santa Claus, the original. Oh come on, man!
Those
Can you get any
must watches. Oh, well, my favorite, believe it or not, is part 3.
Really?
With Martin Short, Jack Frost.
Oh man, that's my least favorite one.
Really?
That's so funny.
Oh, I just love it. He's like, "Would you like to be my elf?"
No, that's like he's so annoying.
Remember that?
Yeah.
What she's singing, she's like, "Jack Frost nipping at your nose."
Yeah. See all of that.
Oh, sing that line again. Jack Frost nipping at your nose.
Oh man,
that one again. Jack Frost nipping at your nose. Oh, you're a lark.
So
Would you like to be my elf? I mean, he's
Oh
just
man.
so well, I love hey, Red, it's funny because
Yeah.
on the outtakes,
Okay.
there's a part where, there's, like, a part where it's like, God, I just love Martin Short and Tim Allen together because it's like where they're wrestling on the ground to get the Santa suit
Oh
so that
yeah.
Tim's trying to put it on, but
Yeah.
he's trying to put it on, and he tries to get it, and he says, "What are you doing? You're not Santa." And but it's like a mess up, and he goes like, "Well, I am." I mean, you'd have to go back and hear how he says it, but as a family, it's like one of our little go-to
Oh
words that if someone says something, "I didn't know that you were Santa." "Well, I am."
yeah, Tim.
And it was
Yeah.
the way he came back and said it. I mean, Martin Short can't keep a straight face. And so the outtakes are probably my favorite
I
parts.
mean, I could only imagine how crazy and funny that was with him actually filming that fighting on the ground over a Santa suit. How many outtakes, how many times they had to do that to get that right shot without them like losing it, you know?
Oh man,
Because Martin Short is a
they're
nut.
so good.
He's a nut.
He's awesome. But that was Martin Short going back to referenced earlier, Three Amigos.
Yeah.
When me and you used to watch movies, we would, and my brother too, we would call our rule was whoever called the character first on whether you saw a poster
Yeah.
or a preview, whoever called the character got to be that character for the movie. And that was such a
That
big
was
deal
a
to me
big
and
deal
you.
to us for some reason in our like
We
creative,
would get
imaginary
emotionally
dream
bonded.
state mind. Yeah.
Well, because one of the ones that I remember is Young Guns.
Yeah.
First of all, I don't know how me and you got to go see that in the theater
I
at
know
like
that
11.
says a lot about our wonderful parenting we had.
They, yeah,
Yeah.
they would drop us
Or
off.
lack thereof.
They'd drop us off and we just hang out,
Yeah.
knock out a couple of movies.
Yeah.
We found out you could walk from one to the other and they didn't
Yeah,
they
didn't
didn't
say
check your
anything.
pay stub.
Yeah.
Anyway, but I remember on Young Guns, you and Bo saw the preview before I did.
Okay. Yeah.
Bo saw it first. And at that time, Charlie Sheen was like he was like the
Mhm.
up and coming stud. And Bo's like, "I'm Charlie Sheen." And then you watched it and you're like, "I'm Emilio Estevez."
Yep.
Well, I remember
Billy the
thinking,
Kid.
well, you and Bo got this thing down because Bo got Charlie Sheen. Rhett got Emilio Estevez, who is Billy the Kid, who the whole movie's scripted after.
Yeah.
And then I'm watching a preview and I see the guy from the old movie, The Lost Boys, we
Mhm.
used to watch. And it was like, I
Kiefer
saw that was
Sutherland.
Kiefer Sutherland.
Yeah.
And I called him. I'm like, "I'm Kiefer Sutherland." Well, the funny thing is, I remember Rhett, me, you, and Bo went to go see it at the theater. And like halfway through the movie, they killed off Charlie Sheen.
Bo's like, "Oh man, this sucks."
And Bo's just staring like
Yeah.
he can't be dead.
Yeah.
And me and you were leaning up, looking at each other, trying not to laugh.
Yeah.
And Bo was finally like, "Fine, I'll be Lou Diamond Phillips."
Yeah, that's right. He changed his character.
And he was Chavez.
Oh, Chavez.
And all three of our characters lived.
Oh
So that was
man.
until part two.
I wonder if
But
anybody
so we
else
would-
ever did that growing up, or
But
if that was just a us three thing kind of deal.
Yeah, you
I don't
guys
know,
let
man.
us know. Send it to our socials or
Yeah.
email us. We'd love to hear if you've experienced that because what even got me on that, we were talking about Martin Short.
Yeah.
And there's a scene in the movie The Three Amigos, which is Chevy Chase, Martin Short, and Steve Martin.
Yeah.
Same thing happened. Rhett and my brother saw the preview to it first. And my brother called Chevy Chase, he was so big time with Christmas Vacation. Obviously,
Yeah.
before that, it was the European Vacation and like
Yeah.
Wally World.
Yeah.
Bo calls Chevy Chase. You call Steve Martin, he was coming off big from like the movie called The Jerk.
Yeah.
I mean, there was so many things he was doing. And I picked the third guy because that's all I was left with. And I'm like, who is this guy? And I called Martin. I'll be Martin Short.
Yeah.
But Martin Short proved to be the fastest gunslinger in the West. He got the girl in the end.
Yeah.
I mean, so it was really cool that I didn't get first in line and I got probably the best character in my mind. But there's a scene where it's Martin Short and Steve Martin and obviously Chevy Chase. They go into a bar. And these it was these German, they're like mafia type guys. They're sharpshooters.
Yep.
This one guy had already come in and shot up the place when they made fun of him. And he leaves. They're scared of him. He says, "I have some friends coming into town.
Yeah.
And they're not as nice as I have been."
Enter.
And granted, you got to remember this guy took everybody out. So he leaves. And then
he
in
set the stage.
happenstance,
Yeah.
the three amigos, who are really just hired actors, who this Mexican country or Mexican city hired them because they think they're real life heroes.
Yeah.
They think they're on a job. They come into this bar, and the bar is quiet because they're scared to death, because these are more
these are
killers.
the guys.
They think they're the killers. The three amigos think, oh, they're in shock. They're meeting their heroes. We're Hollywood actor. We're actors. And so anyway, they think that they want them to fancy them a tune. They play a song called My Little Buttercup. And there's this scene where literally it's the most cheesy song that would get you shot in this bar previously.
Yeah.
And they have everybody eating out of their hands because the people are scared. Yeah. Well, there's like this dance that Steve Martin and Martin Short have, and me and Rhett literally memorized that.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
And do you remember that? We just one time at my family's house, it's like when all the cousins were there, and Bo got by the piano acting like he's playing it.
Yeah. And then we're singing My Little Buttercup. Yeah.
And we do the entire reenactment, and the family just do that again. And that became a thing that anytime me and Rhett would come somewhere, people were like, do the little buttercup thing. It all started with naming our character on a movie.
Man,
so My Little Buttercup had the sweetest smile. Dear little buttercup, won't you stay a while?
You and I will settle down in a cottage built for two.
Dear little buttercup, sweet little buttercup,
my little buttercup,
I love you.
Oh man, it's so good.
Everybody.
Yeah. And then they leave. Everybody's super quiet. They don't even clap because they think, okay, these guys are about to kill them. And then they walk out. And then the real guys walk in. There's two of them. Hey, look at these two little sissies. And they're like, pop, 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 pop.
And then the bartender says,
man.
This town get too rough for me.
Man, what a great movie. If you've never seen The Three Amigos, man, I'm telling you, dude.
Yeah, it's good. We can't condone it, I don't know, but it's good.
At the end, Martin Short's hanging on by a thread up above the El Guapo crew at the end.
Piñata.
Yeah.
He got stuck in a piñata somehow. His foot did. He was swinging.
Yeah.
He went up, he missed it, and his foot got stuck in a piñata. So he's hanging above these kids.
Holding on for his life. And then he's like, what are they? Amigos? Are these guys falling from the sky? And then he slips. Whoops. He slips. He falls.
And he fell and nailed that table. And then his right-hand man, Jappy, says, yes, El Guapo.
Yes, El Guapo. Amigos falling from the sky.
But that was also the first time we learned what the word plethora meant. Because remember, El Guapo was turning 40.
Would you say I have a plethora? Yeah.
Would you say I have a lot of piñata? He's like, oh yes, El Guapo, you have many piñata, many piñata. Hey Jeffy, would you say I have a plethora? And he looks at him like, what's he saying? He goes, oh yes, El Guapo, you got a plethora. Hey, Cavi, what is a plethora? Oh man,
you're killing me, dude. That's so funny. Oh, if you've never watched the movie, this may not be funny, but it is hilarious. You got to go.
This is the time of year, man. This is like
movie.
This is when we've gone to the movies historically. Thanksgiving through Christmas. I mean, Back to the Future 2. Yeah. We did that right during a Thanksgiving holiday when we were kids. I mean, this is just such a great time of the year to get out and do some stuff.
My favorite part of that movie while we're talking about it is the singing bush. You've never seen it. They're trying to find this whatever city or this place. And anyway, they're like, you got to go to the singing bush. And like, what's the singing bush? And like, well, you'll know it when you see it kind of thing.
That's where you summon the invisible swords.
Yeah, that's right. They're in the middle of the desert, and all of a sudden you kind of hear fading off in the background this hi ho, blow the men down, hi ho, blow the men down. I mean, and you're like, what is going on? And then the closer they get to it, instead of like Moses in the burning bush experience, it's a bush that's shaking back and forth and it's singing.
I love the question. He's like, you think this is a singing bush?
Yeah.
You'll be riding 6 white horses when she comes. You'll be riding 6 white horses when she comes.
The bush is just singing, and they're like, then they have to like do some stupid chants and supposed to fire up in the air, and then Chevy Chase fires, I think, at the bush. And
he's like, Sergeant, oh, Wilson, oh,
and then you hear,
ugh. Oh, great! You killed the invisible swordsman.
Oh man! And then they're so funny. Man.
Well, how did I know where he was? It clearly says to say it and point up. You're supposed to shoot up.
Oh my gosh!
So, I mean, it's just the movie's classic.
Stupid movie, but hilarious. Anyways, it obviously hit a chord with us at some point.
We hope it brought a little bit of joy to you today, talking about our little movie deals and Colonel Cookie and
oh man, Tim Allen in the Santa Claus was great. But then the last movie is Elf. Of course, you got to watch Elf. You cannot watch Elf.
Oh, it's classic. I mean, the fact that he walks into that room and she's like, Walter, I think you have a Christmas gram.
Yeah.
And he sends him in. Aren't you going to sing something? Sing. Yeah. Anything for you, Dad. I mean, it's just great. Man. I love watching. If now that we've seen it a million times, do you ever just watch the people in the background?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like, so he's singing the song
all the time. Yeah.
I love watching the faces in the background when they quickly realize this isn't a Christmas gram. Like, I mean,
this and Dad. What did he say? I forget the song.
He's like, I'm here with my dad, and we never met, and he wants me to sing him a song. And I was adopted, but you didn't know I was born. So I'm here now. I found you, Daddy. And guess what? I love you. I love you. I love you.
This is awkward moment. Yeah.
And he's like, that was weird.
That was weird.
I mean, it's just so here's some cool little things about Elf.
Okay.
First of all, Will Ferrell almost didn't do the movie.
Really?
He thought it was going to ruin his career. He said, this is either going to make me or break me. And he took a risk. And he did that. And obviously it played well for him because it's a classic.
Yeah.
Another thing, the character who is the store manager.
Oh, yeah.
You know that one? He's like, 6-inch ribbon curls.
It's impossible.
6 inches. Okay. If you look at his name tag real close, it says Wanda.
Okay.
That's because, oh my gosh, I forgot her last name.
Wanda Sykes.
Wanda Sykes originally was that character, and she backed out at the last minute.
Oh, wow.
And to kind of just honor her, he still wore the name tag they had made for her because she was the original character. So if you ever watch Elf, just notice that it says Wanda.
I never noticed that. Interesting.
Yeah, little Elf fun fact. Any other Christmas trivia, Rhett, you'd like to share as we wrap up our
Christmas trivia.
For Christmas episode?
I don't even, I mean, what was this episode? This was laughter and just randomness, which is great.
Colonel Cookie. The Three Amigos. Colonel Cookie and the Three Amigos.
Oh, man. You know, you go from interviewing entrepreneurs to Grammy Award-winning artists to this. I love it. This is what I love about Armchair Authentic, because this is literally our conversations, man.
Well, what's funny to me is I'll come in every now and again, and my wife will be listening to our podcast.
Yeah.
I don't know if she listens to everything or not, but her favorites are not the interviews we do, even though she thinks those are great.
Yeah.
She loves when we get tickled, when we have just high pitched laughter. I'll hear her in there just loving it. And it's like, that does something to me. I'm like, she reminds me why we did this in the first place. Because I know it's the joke that you're making, but we're doing these amazing interviews with people, just world changers, made huge maximum impact.
Yeah.
Which we want to keep doing that as we move in to the next year. And as we begin to talk about, how great the year has actually been and what some accomplishments we've had this year. And we'll do that in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
But it does remind me when I get to hear, Summer just tell me her favorite stuff is when we get tickled. And that's kind of the magic. That's the
Yeah.
scalability for us. I
Yeah.
think that's the only way that we do this at the level we do once a week right now,
Mhm.
because we can get serious
Yeah.
and we can have a lot of fun. And we do hope that you guys get to experience some of the joy, and not that it's not about us, but it is a conduit for maybe you to look back and reflect with some of your old friends that y'all can maybe get on the phone in the next week or two and just, why don't you reminisce with some of the people that have been in your life for so long? Because if you're like me and Rhett,
Yeah.
you have a friend that you've gotten to have for this long, my goodness, count your blessings, because I am, as we just finished Thanksgiving, me and Rhett were talking about that, obviously on that episode, but so grateful to have friendship. And if you have that, guys, you've got gold.
Yeah.
And just enjoy every minute of it, because it will talk about, hey, I love therapy for everybody. I think many people should
Yeah.
be going through it. So that, keep that. But there has been so many things that has kept me sane based on my relationship by having, obviously with my wife, I can say anything to, and I have some great friends. And obviously I'm highlighting you right now, Rhett, the
Thanks,
stuff
bud.
that we have been able to talk about that has kept me sane, knowing that I can say whatever I need to
Yeah.
and get it kind of off my chest so that I can actually grow and be different the next day or the next week or the next year. And you never come back and say, but I thought you thought this.
Yeah.
You're able to let me rest in it, knowing that I don't say that to everybody. I say it to you because I need a sounding board.
Yeah.
And we all need sounding boards. And I hope during this Christmas season that you would think about that in your relationships, because it will save your life.
Mhm.
And it really will help you maximize the impact that God's called you to. Not the best. I love how Pastor Andy said that earlier this year.
Yeah.
Don't go try to be the best. Like I do think that we talked about that a lot, Rhett.
Yeah.
I mean, just not we, but in general, you hear everything hitting it out there, like go be your best self. And I don't want to take away from that, but we do forget sometimes that just because we can do best over here, God still might have us over in this other area. God's best is our best. And that's been one of those conversation table topics that me and you've always had together, that
Yeah.
I think I've found with me, there are natural abilities that I have that I express in certain domains, but I don't in others. But yet God has used me. We were having a conversation about that. You and I
Yeah.
were just yesterday on one of our random phone calls, that I've had to put down my flesh, if you will, or my wants and my desires and what I think I would want to have. And I haven't been able to always get it. And I've had to kind of surrender it. Sometimes it's by, dragging my feet or crying and not happy about it, but I ultimately submit to whatever it might be. But yet I've noticed God's favor rest in those quiet, hidden places a lot of times, where I feel not the maximum impact in the sense of the enormity
Yeah.
of Justin's done this, but I've sensed the impact that God created me to make in these places where yet I'm hidden. And I would have always preferred that maybe I don't need to be hidden. Hey, I want to be the main character. I want to call out that main character on the movie.
Yeah.
It's like, man, Rhett and Bo over here called Chevy Chase and Steve Martin. I'm stuck over here with Martin Short. And I feel like in my life, there have been times I haven't got to go be those Steve Martins and Chevy Chases. And I had to settle for it where, well, I guess I'll do this. And it's funny because I became my Martin Short in some of these areas and just submitted, and God smiled upon it so much.
Yeah.
And it's like, in the end, I still got to be the fastest gunslinger. And in the end, I still got the girl. And it's kind of that parallel how God does that a lot with us. What we thought, I would have wanted to be the gunslinger. I would have wanted to have gotten the girl, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And if I would have tried, I never would have. But you let yourself be in the place that God's best is for your life, not what you just think must be the best.
Yeah.
And you will have more of a fulfilling, impactful life than you could ever imagine. And Rhett, you've been such a part of my life to let me talk through those things. And you've gotten to hear the vanities. You've gotten to hear the, I wish this, and I'm going to make this happen. You've gotten to hear all that. And I appreciate you because you've not held me to that. You've gotten to recognize that I've gotten to grow out of that over all these 20, 30, 15, 10, 5, 4, 3 years, 2 years. And that's just the beauty of having somebody in your life. And that's why I really do. I think that people people, you got to have somebody,
Yeah,
and
man.
you will really be God's best version that he
Yeah.
created you to be.
Well, man, thank you for sharing that. That means a lot. That's always encouraging. And it's just being available, I think, more than anything. I think that's what friendship is, just being available. So my hope and my prayer is that if you don't have a friend like this, man, just to pray and ask God. You know, I think I love that the scripture, and James said, if you lack wisdom, ask God. He's so generous to give it, but that just doesn't apply to wisdom. It applies to relationships as well. So don't do life alone this season. You know, find community. It's out there. And there's nothing like having somebody that you can laugh with. And I think that's the joy that I get from our friendship, is the fact that it's not always serious. In fact, 99.9% of everything we do is really what you guys just experienced there. It's reminiscing on stupid movies we watch, memories, moments, those kind of things. And there's a lot of joy from that. And, you know, it's that joy and that laughter that is good medicine. I know we've mentioned that before. And today for me, it's just good medicine, you know, because honestly, man, I'm tired. I'm worn out. Came off a long week, you know, in Idaho with this huge project.
We didn't even get to talk about that.
Yeah.
That's an episode in itself right there.
Yeah. And, but a lot of, you know, and I'm just kind of like, today's one of those days where I feel like it's all catching up to me and just getting rest. And so getting some moments of laughter and just some, what I would consider nonsense, but honestly, it's what's feeding my soul in a very healthy way. What I was taking away from what you were saying about your best, sometimes we feel like, I don't know, I can't say this for other people, but I feel like we can paint these pictures of perspective that our best is circumstantial. You know, our best is when things are comfortable. Our best is when things are going the way we want them to go, or in the situation that we think whatever that best is. And I'm just reminded our best, it has nothing to do with circumstantial. It has everything to do with what's happening on inwardly inside of us. And oftentimes God will put our best, or to get our best, in places that are uncomfortable, or places where there's perseverance that has to be had in order to grow character, integrity, and really grow the best inside us, so that what's happening inside us will eventually come outside of us. I don't know if that makes any kind of sense, but I'm really just trying to say that, you know, circumstances have nothing to do with God's best. Sometimes that does happen, you know, where it seems like, oh, my situations are lining up in such a perfect way that it's just so comfortable and so wonderful. But man, 90% of the time that I've experienced on 47 years on this planet is that God sees fit to put us in situations that oftentimes don't seem perfect or our best, but it's interesting that if we'll allow him to do a work in us and through us in those situations, how really the best does come out of us. And in hindsight, when you look back, you're like, wow, that really was God's best for me to allow me to go through some stuff to develop the things that I needed in life. Had I not been through those situations of discomfort, I might not have developed God's best in me.
Right on.
I hope that's making sense.
No, yes. I mean, big time. Yeah, it's the hardships that we suffer are the very things that prepare us.
Yeah.
What we actually need to be prepared for. If we got what we wanted all the time, we would be weak.
Totally.
We wouldn't be able to stand the weight of what God really has for every one of us.
Yeah.
The endurance is the beauty of it. We don't see that as part of it.
Yeah.
But the pain, the grieving, the loss, all this stuff is part of the Christian journey.
Yeah.
Like, it's a big part of it.
Yeah.
If we're going to read the Psalms like we do, if we're going to read these weeping prophets and the stuff that they had to do to proclaim God's word, and it wasn't like roses and chocolate and all these happy thoughts always. And I do think that, you know, as we've referenced many times on this podcast, that it, you know, we do kind of have that Western view a little bit. And it's about we have been blessed with so much resources here, a land of opportunity. And it's easy to get that mixed in with our journey and our walk with Christ, but that's something completely separate. And so endurance, when you have to overcome obstacles, Rhett, I mean, the stories, you know, as we'll get into it more next year, but the stories that you've been through and that I've been through, I never asked for any of these hardships on my life. And I hated them in the moment. I never wanted them. But man, now that I'm on the other side of it, I have drawn so close to my relationship with Jesus because it's allowed me to realize my dependency is on him. And it's allowed me to realize this place is not our home. We will not experience perfection till later. So by enduring, it does kind of keep this longing to always know I cannot wait for eternity. Now, I want to be everything God created me to be here. But even in my fullest, it's still going to require endurance, and it's going to be to endure loss and pain. Not that we're trying to avoid going through that, but that we'll actually figure out on earth, that was part of the process to even enjoy Jesus, to enjoy the Father through those times more than anything. So even when you said that, I got you. I mean, it's endurance is powerful.
Yeah, man. Well, what a joy. This year has been amazing. When I think about this time last year, I know we didn't launch the podcast until like the end of January of 2024, but you and I actually started recording episodes. I don't remember the exact week, but it was around this week, I believe, if not the last week. Yeah. But I'm very grateful, if I know we're going to have another episode probably near the end of this year, kind of reflecting back, but just thinking of the journey of perseverance of us, just with how busy our lives are, doing this hobby and stewarding our relationship and these stories. And I'm glad you mentioned what you did earlier about just coming back to really what this podcast was all about. It's just our story, stewarding our relationship in a way that serves people, and to take time from time to time to just to laugh and to be goofy and to be who we are. I mean, it's Armchair Authentic, and this is truly who we are. So people are getting a glimpse of, whatever behind the scenes looks like for us.
So true.
But wherever you are, whoever you are, we're so grateful that you would come along on this journey with us this year. If you're just now diving in and this is your first episode, man, welcome to the crazy circle of friendship that is Rhett and Justin. We're glad that you're along, and we look forward to hopefully having you stick around and enjoy some more laughter as well as leadership and other things along the way. But this is just kind of the flow, man. So it's been good. Justin, I love you, dude. I'm looking forward to
you too, buddy.
Next episode. But until then, man, we hope everybody has a great week. God bless, and we'll talk to you soon.
Coming up on the next episode of Armchair Authentic,
the one and only Micah Solomon.
We would literally sing all the time.
We worked hard.
We took that serious. So we got up there, and Rhett blew the pitch pipe. He was a pitch pipe blower. Thank you for your ministry.
You're welcome, man.
Yeah, you were phenomenal pitch pipe blower.
Yeah, so good with that pitch pipe.
Justin was always in the middle. He sang lead. And so Rhett and I are waiting. And because Justin started a lot of songs. And Rhett and I are like humming pitches and like doing everything in the world, putting our arm around him, rubbing his back, like, hey buddy, you got this, man. Like, you can
Everybody
do this.
thought it was a skit
Because we were fun guys.
I thought we were mixing it up a little bit.
Mixing it up.
I didn't show my eyes. I just appear with my hands in the air.
It's a little embarrassing for me, and I'm like, come on, man, dude. We only practiced 759 times on this song.
It was a mind
Sing
block.
the dang note, And miraculously, Justin finds the note and starts to sing, and the whole place erupts, stands on their feet. We start having church.
And
on
we
this
have
song.
revival. Yeah.
Literally brought the house down.
We're really looking forward to that episode. But in the meantime, if you enjoyed this episode, would you do something for me? Would you take out your phone? Would you copy the link and send it to a friend? We would really appreciate that. Thank you. Well, until next time, we hope you have a fantastic week. See you soon.